Ball is now on the Edmonton Eskimos' 31-yard line. 4-point difference here between these two great ball clubs. Can't recall a Grey Cup final when we've had so many spectacular touchdowns. McWhinney is flanking out to the right on the flying wing. That's Lippman at left half. Maloney at quarterback. The handoff is to Normie Kwong. Off tackle to his right. He finds a big hole and goes up to the 43-yard line before Tex Holder brings him down. There's a man hurt. It's McNichol, I believe, who was shaken up in that last play. Number 63 there on your screen for the Montreal Alouettes is Jim Staton, right tackle. And again, it's McNichol who is hurt. And the score is 18-14 in favor of the Alouettes over the Edmonton Eskimos. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Eskimos on their own 42-yard line after Normie Kwong knifed off of left tackle. Here comes McNichol to the sidelines. Great ball player. So Montreal shift into a 5-man line, 5-4 defense here. Almost that umbrella pass defense. Flankers to the left. That's McWhinney. And here's the handoff to Wally Miles. Up to Kruger, pardon me. Kruger carries that up for first down. Goes for 13 yards. Kruger playing in that right-hand slot in place of Rollie Miles. And it was Bruce Coulter, number 65, who made the tackle. So Frank Ivy has gambled in this third quarter with two rookie backs in Lippman and Kruger. The only veteran then is the fullback, Normie Kwong. McWhinney is flanking to the right. And the handoff is given to Normie Kwong, and he carries for 5 yards up to the Montreal 50-yard line. He's stopped by Johnny Blacher, number 81. Also in for a piece of the tackle is 63, Jim Staton. Here's Staton coming to the sidelines. So it is 2nd down and 5 to go after Kwong ground at 5 over left tackle. Montreal using a spread line on defense. Flankers to the left for the Eskimos. Maloney barking out those signals, and there's a fumble by Kruger, and we'll see who's got it. Kruger fumbled, and he may have recovered. Kruger fumbled when he was hit by Tex Calder and Ray Poole. When you get hit by Calder and Poole, well, I guess you can't blame a fellow for fumbling. Man, they're big. Joey Powell and Bill Bewley will be the deep men, safety men. Bewley, number 93, Joey Powell, man, number 82. Maloney will kick from his own 49. It was almost blocked there by a charge again by Hugo. And here's Joey Powell taking on the 15, up to the 20, fumble. Everybody's after it, and we can't see who's got it as a pilot. It's recovered by the Edmonton Eskimos. McLeod, I believe. Ray McLeod recovered that fumble.
Gamble with your car. Don't take chances with Boil Away Antifreeze. Get Prestone Antifreeze.
Here's Maloney handing off to Lippman, Glenn Lippman, number 85. And Lippman dives over. Carries up to the Montreal 23-yard line. It's a gain of 4 yards. Johnny Blacher brought him down. So here is Barry over the ball. 4-point difference here. Flankers to the left for the Eskimos. Maloney finding a hole for Glenn Lippman again. Carries it up to about the 20-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 yards to go for the Eskimos. And it'll be 3rd and 2. Ball is on just over the 20-yard line. In a position for a field goal if they keep it down the center. 18-14. Montreal going into a 7-man line. Third down, they're going to gamble on a third down play here. There's a fumble by Filoni. He recovers, but it'll be Montreal ball for failing to make the necessary yardage. Filoni recovered that loose ball in the Edmonton backfield on the handoff to Glenn Lippman. And so it's 1st and 10 for the Montreal Alouettes on their own 23-yard line. Getting a little colder here at Varsity Stadium, and it's possibly having an effect on those ball players as well, because we've had 2 fumbles in this quarter. Sam Echeverry at quarterback, and Echeverry hands off to Hunzinger. Hunzinger off tackle to his left, cuts up to the 25, up to the 30, the 35. He's running a touchdown about the 41-yard line. Hayton, number 94, for the Eskimos, runs them in a touch. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Montreal on their own 40. Montreal leading by a score of 18-14. First and 10 for Montreal. You go into the T formation. There's that jump pass to O'Finnegan, who cuts in on that hook play and carries up to center. And he's pulled down on the Edmonton Eskimo 52-yard line by Johnny Bright. This Quinn hooks in from that right end. He's put on a brilliant display of catching. And that play went for 90 yards earlier in the ball game and the first Montreal touchdown. Time is called as Roger Nelson, number 66, was shaken up. And Ray McLeod will go in for the Eskimos. 4-point difference, 18-14 for the Montreal Alouettes, playing in the third quarter. 6 minutes remaining in this quarter. And here is Roger Nelson coming to the sideline. Apparently had the wind knocked out of him and doesn't appear to be in too bad shape. So it's 1st and 10 for Montreal on the Edmonton Eskimo 52. And the handoff is to Webster. Off tackle to his right. He finds a big hole over right tackle and really plowed. Ooh, he was thundering. Jackie Parker brought him down on the Edmonton Eskimo 34-yard line. That Webster really exploded on that play over right tackle. Herb Trawick, veteran of many Montreal games, leading the blocking. Flankers to the left. Joey Powell. Here's the pitch out to Webster. Webster takes off, cuts in, he falls, still picks up enough yardage, and is brought down by Mike King as he carries up to about the 27-yard line. It's a gain of about 5. They've been telling us about what a hard runner this Webster is, and man, he has certainly proven it this afternoon. Edmonton defense shifting around. They go into an 8-man, 9-man line, almost a 10-man line. Here's the pitch out. This time it's a fumble. Bewley fumbles, picks it up on the bounce, and he's brought down for a loss by Lindley. Well, Lindley is thrown for a loss as he gets the old Argo bounce. He dropped that ball. It bounced right back to him. So it'll be third down and about 11 yards to go. Bill Zock, number 62, is talking it over with the officials. Hayton is back along with Kruger. And Ray Poole is going to attempt a field goal from the 40-yard line. He has the favoring wind. There's the snap. There's the kick. And not in there. It's taken by Kruger. He's up to his 5, up to his 10. He fumbles. It's recovered by Trawick. He's on the 10, the 5, and he's in the end zone. There's a whistle on the play here. Trawick gobbled up that fumble, but apparently there was a whistle on the play. As you can see, the officials pointing to where Kruger was brought down. So it's 1st and 10 for the Edmonton Eskimos on their own 10-yard line. You're set, you're safe,
you're sure with Prestone brand antifreeze, guaranteed to give you complete all-winter protection.
1st and 10 for the Edmonton Eskimos on their own 10-yard line. And the handoff is to Glenn Lippman. Lippman on the 10. He's brought down hard on about the 12 by Jim Michener. Lippman playing right half in place of Rolly Miles. And I don't believe Miles has been in the ball game in this quarter. As Glenn Lippman is now playing right half. Jackie Parker left half, and Normie Kwong is the fullback, and Glenn McWhinney is the flying wing. 18-14 for Montreal, 2nd down. 7 yards to go for the Eskimos on their own, about their own 12. Here's Kwong off tackle to his right. There's no blocking, no hole, and he carries to the 15 before he's stopped by Juan Sheridan. So it'll be 3rd down. 3rd down and about 4 yards to go. The ball is on about the 16-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down and about 3 for the Edmonton Eskimos. 4 minutes remaining in the 3rd quarter. And the safety man, Joey Pal and Julie. Here's Eagle Keys over the ball. And Filoni will kick from his own 4-yard line. There's the snap. Almost blocked again by Hugo. Taken by Bewley. Bewley fades off. Flips lateral out to Pal. Pal up to the 45 and into the Eskimo territory, brought down on the 40 by Mike King. So it's 1st and 10 for the Montreal Alouettes on the Edmonton Eskimo 40-yard line. That's referee Hap Schuldice of Ottawa on your TV screen. So Sam Echeverry at quarterback stays in the pocket. There goes receivers. He's blocked, reverses his field, and he still gets away. There's the pass, and it's incomplete. Pass was intended for Alec Webster. He was being covered by Johnny Bright, and Echeverry was almost trapped for a loss. Well, the rifle pulls out of that pocket, reversed his field, and made a 1st down. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Alouettes. Rather, 1st and goal to go on the 7. With the score 18-14 in favor of the Montreal Alouettes over the Edmonton Eskimos. About 2 minutes remaining to 3-quarter time. Here's the pitch out to Webster. Webster falls. Rather, Hunsinger. And he's pinned. Strategy, I believe, there was to get that ball in front of the goal post. Jim Weatherall just pinned Hunsinger, the right half. So it'll be 2nd down, and there's a loss of 6 yards. The play it's back to the 12. With a placement kicker like Ray Poole in your lineup, anywhere within striking distance of those goal posts is danger. So it's 2nd down. Now Echeverry going back to throw. There's the pass, and it is incomplete. Incomplete. Intended for O'Quinn, and there's an injured player. One of the Eskimos ran into the goalpost, I believe. So it'll be 3rd down and about 12 to go. That's a tough way to play football, running into that goalpost. Billy Briggs, number 42, crashed into the post. He'll have to come out for at least one play. So it's 3rd down and 12 yards to go for a touchdown or a 1st down. So the timekeepers have moved out onto the touchline now, although the flag is not up as yet, indicating that there's a little less than 2 minutes remaining in this 3rd quarter. Referee Hap Schuldice calls time in, and Ray Poole will try a placement from about the 17-yard line, about 20 yards in from the east sidelines, as you can see. There's the snap, the kick, And it's not good. It goes back to the deadline for a single point. Back to the deadline for a single point, and the score, Montreal 19. Edmonton Eskimos 14. That's the first point in this quarter. And both teams had a couple of breaks that could have meant a big scoring play. So it'll be Edmonton Eskimos first and 10 on their own 25, and the Eskimos will have a favoring wind in the fourth and last quarter in this ball game, because it's sweeping down, is that north, I believe, rather from the south. And the Eskimos in the white jerseys on your screen, that's the Montreal Alouettes you see now, to your right. So it's first and 10. Here's the entire backfield shifting off. Poloni pulls out of the pocket, throws a long one, and it is incomplete. Intended for Kruger. And Coulter, Bruce Coulter that is, number 65, was the defender on that pass play. Poloni threw that long one from about his own 15 down to the Alouettes 50. But Coulter was covering Kruger, the deep man. So it is second and 10 for the Eskimos on their own 25, and the minute flag is up. The flag is now up along the sideline. So there's 1 minute to play in this third quarter. And here's Kruger over right tackle. He's brought down on the 30-yard line by Tex Coulter. Kruger is playing right half in place of Rollie Miles. Lippman is playing left half in place of Jackie Parker. So we're not sure whether there's injuries down in that Edmonton camp or not, or whether Frank Ivey, the coach of the Edmonton Eskimos, is trying to save some reserve strength for a last quarter drive, as the Eskimos will have the favoring wind. 19-14 is the score, a 5-point spread here between two great teams. That's an unconverted touchdown. There's the snap back to Poloni. Poloni gets the kick away. Joey Powell waits for it, takes it on his own 42. He's up to the 45, and he's tackled on the 45 by Bill Briggs. It's first and 10 for the Montreal Alouettes. Briggs, incidentally, is in there snapping that ball at center for the Edmonton Eskimos. Eagle Keys was injured in the first quarter, and he has been used very sparingly. So it's first and 10 for the Alouettes on their own 45, less than a minute to play in this third quarter. Sam Echeverry, there's the backfield in motion. Here's the pitch out to Hunsinger, to Webster rather, and he's hit on the 45. Hit hard by Bob Dean on the 45 after a gain of about 1 yard. And so the score at the end of the third quarter is Montreal Alouettes 19, Edmonton Eskimos 14. This Grey Cup game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium in Toronto.
Hey, you're heading for a wreck. Grab your flashlight and save your neck.
I'm in trouble, Bud. I got a dud.
You never get a dud with Ever-Ready. For light that's bright and steady, get long life Ever-Ready. A battery with 9 lives. You never get a dud with Ever-Ready.
When a fuse blows, a flashlight is vital. Don't risk a tumble because your batteries were dead when you needed them most. The covering on this Ever-Ready flashlight battery holds the secret of the longer-lasting, dependable service you get from Ever-Ready brand leak-proof batteries. There's more to it than meets the eye. Within this jacket is a thermoplastic barrier, tough enough to prevent leakage, yet microscopically thin. It eliminates bulky materials, permits the use of this full-size power cell. Ever-Ready flashlight batteries give you leak-proof performance without sacrifice of power or service life. That's why they shine stronger, last longer.
Presumed to be hectic 15 minutes. The Alouettes are in front by a 5-point bulge, 19-14. The ball will be put in play by Montreal. First and 10, make that second and 9 from their own 46-yard line. Flankers for the Alouettes, just off your screen to the near sidelines, are Powell and Alec Webster. Sam throws down the middle, complete to a Quinn who juggled it and held on finally at the Eskimos' 50-yard line. And Lindley, once again, is the number one man to hit him. That boy has played a whale of a ball game for Edmonton today. Alouettes 1st and 10 from the Eskimos' 50-yard line. The 1954 Grey Cup game is definitely going to go down in history as one of the tightest and hardest fought ball games that's ever been seen here. Sam throws to Joey Powell, complete, and he is downed on the 27-yard line. Lindley again. Along with Bill Briggs, 42. Lindley's number, and you've heard Jack Wells and yours truly speak about him most of the afternoon. He scored the first Edmonton touchdown, is number 81, lower right-hand side of your screen right now. And Briggs, the boy who tried to knock the goalpost down a few minutes ago, is number 42, and he has been in on a lot of tackles as well. Ball is on the 28-yard line, Alouettes possession. That's the Eskimo 28, 1st and 10. Powell is a wide flanker toward the near side. Alec Webster, quick opener to the right-hand side of the line. The hole open between tackle and end. It's a first down to the 13-yard line where Oscar Kruger, 96, and that same Lindley finally put the stop on him. First and 10 for the Alouettes on the march downfield. Edmonton backed up against their own doorstep. Ball on the 13. Hunsinger carries. Hit by Bob Dean as he tried to crash over his own left tackle. May have picked up a yard or perhaps two. The gain on the play is less than 1 yard, so let's call it 2nd down and 10 from the 13. The Edmonton Ball Club does not, in the third quarter, and this far, about 2 minutes in the fourth, seem to have the pepper that they showed in the first half. Webster and Powell are wide flankers. Throwing for Powell, complete for a touchdown. Joey Powell, number 82, the great Canadian flying wing of the Montreal Alouettes, on a typical pass play with Sam Etcheverry, and we remember seeing them pull it many times during this season. He comes out to the near sidelines as a wide flanker, 24-14 on that TD. Goes down about 8 or 10 steps, then cuts directly in to the secondary where the hole is opened up, and he took that one with nobody within 5 yards of him. Ray Poole on the conversion. Etcheverry holds from the 12-yard line. It is good. Montreal by 25-14. Joey Powell on your screen at this moment. Number 82. Played for Montreal when they won the Grey Cup back in 1949 and is the only non-U.S. starter, offensively speaking, for the Alouettes in all Big Four games this year.
Steve, this is starting out like so many of the fourth quarters of the Montreal Alouettes. I think they took it from their about the 45, and I think it was 5 plays, and they were over for the touchdown.
Dave, that's a very good and factual observation. It definitely is true that in the fourth quarter, they scored many points. As a matter of fact, they scored in the fourth quarter so many times. I believe their total was 120 points scored in the fourth quarter. 120 to their opponents' 35 in the Big Four season of 14 games. Pretty good example of how they powerhouse their opposition in that last 15 minutes. Here is the kickoff by Ray Poole. A bobbler that has already hit one Eskimo man is picked up and held down on the 38-yard line. It was Normie Kwong, number 95, who grabbed that loose ball that had caromed off one of the forward wall. It is 1st and 10 for Edmonton from the 38. They're facing now an 11-point deficit with 13 minutes left to play in the last quarter. That's Filoni running wide. Nice blocking. Long pass intended for Lippman. Tipped away from him by Bruce Kohler. Jackie Parker threw the beautiful block in the Edmonton backfield. That sprung Filoni loose, and he completed the pass. At least he fired it downfield. Intended for Glenn Lippman. Traveled about 40 yards through the air, but Bruce Kohler for the second time in about the last 5 minutes, was on the spot and deflected it. In addition to becoming darker at Varsity Stadium, it is becoming windier and a little touch colder. Poloni still got it. Down the middle to Bendiak, completed. Fletcher hits him on the 50-yard line, and so does Larry Grigg. Fletcher and Grigg tackle Steve Bendiak for a first down, Edmonton, and there's one of the Eskimos down on the field of battle. It is Bendiak who took the forward pass and was in the middle of a bone-crushing tackle put on him by two Alouettes. Well, this has been a ball game of many surprises and very little scoring in the third quarter, with the Montreal Alouettes exploding all of a sudden for that touchdown to Joey Pell. Roland Prather, 74, goes in, and Bendiak comes out. Bendiak has played a fine ball game today. Don Barry is the Edmonton center, number 55. Poloni quarterbacking is number 90. Backfield shift to the right. Pass goes down the middle, intended for, but intercepted. Bruce Calder of the Alouettes. Intended for Prather or McQuinney, both men down there. McQuinney put the tackle on Calder. So the Alouettes have taken it over. 1st and 10 on their own 52-yard line. The tide of battle today has changed very rapidly on many occasions. The Eskimos got off to a resounding start when they scored from the opening kickoff, retaining possession all the way down. Alec Webster. Nice hole through center, and the big fellow plows for about 7 yards before he's blocked down by Briggs. Jacques Belek, number 87, has gone into the Alouette backfield to replace Virgil Wagner at fullback. Eskimos set their defenses along the 50-yard line. Pass out is to Bill Bewley. Holder is doing the blocking. Bewley's to the 40. 35, hurdles one man. Still on his feet at the 25-yard line. Hit from behind and down on the 15 by Johnny Bright and Parker and Briggs, all three of them, but Bright hit him first. A great run by Bewley.
To see that block that O'Quinn laid out there, that was the key to block on that play, Steve. Man, he opened it up.
That is one of the best running exhibitions we've seen all year, Jack, by Bill Bewley, who has not been used too much offensively, but he certainly lugged the mail that time down to the 13-yard line. 1st and 10, Montreal. Time gone by is 4 minutes of the final period. Alouettes 25, Eskimos 14. Bewley is a flanker way out to the far side. Pitch out is to Webster. He's got one man to beat. He's down to the 10, driving for the 5, and is stopped on the 7-yard line. Prather is the first man who got him, number 74, and Briggs, number 42. 82 there is King. 63 is Weatherall. 61 is Bob Dean. And here are the Alouettes set to go with second down about 3. Alec Webster is ganged up on the left side of the line. Prather hit him first. He was stopped on the 7-yard line, so it is third down. Roughly 5, maybe 4 yards left to go. Started from the 13, so it's 3rd and 4. Joey Pell is the boy at the bottom of your screen who moved out as a wide flanker on these sidelines. Sam will go to the air. He looks, fires into the end zone to O'Quinn, who lost the ball. Appeared to hit him in the stomach, but Kruger was guarding very nicely, and O'Quinn's vision was probably just a little bit blurred by Oscar Kruger. It slipped through his arms, hit him in the stomach, and down it went. Ask for and insist on Prestone brand antifreeze. Accept no substitute. With Prestone antifreeze, you're set, you're safe, you're sure. Here we go, 1st and 10 for Edmonton from their own 25-yard line. Sudden burst to the middle by little Glenn Lippman. He's still going. Man, how that little guy goes. He's to the 47-yard line. He is 5 feet 8, weighs 170 pounds. You'd wonder where all that driving power comes from. But finally, Tommy Hugo got him from behind and dragged him down on the 47-yard line. Speedster is the word, but he's got an awful lot of drive in those legs. Eskimos in possession. The big crowd is talking up. Loose ball in the backfield. Fallen on. Looks like Parker. A cross-up in the Eskimos' offensive signals there. And the loose ball was fallen on by Jackie Parker for a loss back to the 40. They're saying the 45-yard line. The nose of the football, as you see right there, just short of the 45. Second down, about 12. Alouettes using a 5-man line, a 5-4 defense. That's Filoni with the ball, running wide. Nice block by Parker. Bernie's going to run it. He is almost good for a first down across midfield to the Alouettes' 53-yard line. Ted Ellsby, the man who made the stop on him. First down it is. Nice run by Bernie Filoni. Eskimos are trailing by 11 points with a little less than 10 minutes to go, but from what we saw earlier today, anything could and possibly will happen in this football game for sure. Whole backfield moves in motion to these sidelines. Filoni looks, throws. Complete on a beautiful kick by Glenn McQuinney, who did a great tumble, as you saw, onto the cinder track, but held onto the football for a first down. Larry Gregg, defensively, knocked him out of bounds. There has been, and I say again, a lot of talk about Filoni being a very mediocre passer. I don't believe he has been off his target all day. A couple have been intercepted, and quite a few knocked down by alert Montreal defenses. He managed to get the ball away finally, and it came very close to being intercepted by Jimmy Michener of the Alouettes. The defenses were something sieve-like that time and let the Alouettes forwards get through too much. Filoni backtracked a couple of times, couldn't find a receiver open, finally threw, and Michener came very close to intercepting. So it just goes as an incomplete forward pass, 2nd and 10. Ball is on the Alouettes' 38-yard line, Eskimos possession. Clock shows 8 minutes left in the ball game. McQuinney is the flanker just off the top of your screen. Pitch out is to Parker. Lots of running room. He's to the 30. Chased by Hunsinger across the 20. Knocked out of bounds by Calder. Loose ball, but I believe the play has been stopped on the 13-yard line. A great run by Jackie Parker. A 25-yard sweep around his own right end. Parker had all the room in the world, and gee, he sure traveled. Lindley is coming in, and Prather goes out of the Eskimo lineup. 1st and 10, Edmonton, on the Alouettes' 13-yard line. Crowd begins to buzz again. Filoni hands off to Lippman. The little guy's to the 5-yard line. He's over! to 19, and with automatic Bob Dean coming in, it should go to 25 to 20. See, the hole opened up, and that guy just scooted for 13 yards, and I don't believe more than 2 or 3 people laid a hand on him. Filoni will hold for Dean, who will kick from the 12-yard line. He does, it's good. That is Dean's 44th consecutive conversion this year. He converted the first Edmonton touchdown today. There's the little scooter from way down Texas way. The Aggies, Glenn Lippman. Dean converted the first one. A high pass from center prevented him from getting a boot at the second, but he sure did it this time. This ball game is very much wide open yet. 25 for the Alouettes and 20 for Edmonton. Clock showing 7 1/4 minutes left to play. Dean will kick off. We have Grigg, Webster, and Hunsinger, the deep men for the Alouettes, as usual, in the vicinity of the goal line and the 5-yard line. Hold-up was occasioned by Edmonton being a man short, but they're set to go now. Here we are. Very deep to Webster at the goal line. The 10, 15, and is down on the 18-yard line. Rolly Miles, who has just come back in the ball game a few moments ago, got down and nailed Webster on the 18. It is 1st and 10 for the Alouettes from that point. Double reverse in the Alouette backfield. Hunsinger for the far sidelines. Cuts back in nicely. Is down on the 25 by Ron Prather. Big number 74. Just got up. Ball is on the 25-yard line. 2nd down, 3 yards to go. 15 yards in from the far sideline. Webster, nice hole. Lateral to Joey Powell. He's at the 40. Down on the 52-yard line. Lindley again. Jackie Parker says, I've got a loose football here. How about it, Mr. Official? But the official says the whistle had blown. Lindley racked himself up making that last tackle. Lindley has come off, and Mendrick has taken his place, number 88 at the bottom of your screen. 1st and 10 for the Alouettes. Chuck Hunsinger, not too much running room, but he manages to drive through for about 5 yards before Bob Dean puts the tackle on him, along with Ted Tully. It is across midfield into Eskimo territory at the 53-yard line. We have 6 minutes left in the ball game. Montreal in front of Edmonton by 25-20. Back in 1949, Montreal beat Calgary 28-15. Freest scoring game on both sides, but this is even better. Echeverry throws for Powell. Great catch. And down he goes on the 37-yard line. Mendrick just came in for Edmonton and made the stop. Officials mark it down on the 36, where it is another Alouette 1st down. Hewley is the ball carrier. Fumble. Eskimo recovery, so indicated by the referee. This crowd, which obviously is predominantly for the West, goes slightly wild once again. Ted Tully, number 51, the man credited with recovering that fumble by Bill Bewley. You'll go a long way and you'll wait a long time before you see a football game complete with all the thrills we've had today. And it's not over yet. About 5 minutes to go, a little more. It's Jackie Parker throwing a pass intended for Lippman. He lost control of it. Guarded by Hunsinger and Bruce Calder. Lippman, who scored the last Edmonton touchdown on that miraculous burst through the center of the line, apparently shook himself up just a little bit as he fell into the end zone. Until he came out now, he was walking up and down very slowly in front of the Edmonton bench. But he moved kind of fast that time. 2nd and 10, just short of the 35. McWhinney is a flanker. Maloney looks, throws to Bendiak, complete. Out of bounds he goes, I believe, short of a first down by about 1 yard. Jim Michener, 83 of the Alouettes, forced him out. It is 3rd down and a good yard left to go. So the burden comes on Mr. Poloni, and from the field, referee Hap Scholdice is giving the 5-minute signal. Now remember, that means that new safety touch rule is in effect. Not that I believe we are going to have that come up, but we'll try and explain it to you in just a few moments. Loose ball. Recovered by Ted Ellsby, number 68, who fell on one of his teammates. And let's give the credit to his teammate as soon as he comes up, Jimmy Miller. Intercollegiate boxing champion at McGill 3 times, and he made the recovery, so Alouettes take over. This Grey Cup football game is coming to you from Varsity Stadium in Toronto.
Gamble with your car. Don't take chances with boil-away antifreeze. Get Prestone antifreeze.
Webster and a pitch out from Sam Etcheverry is nailed behind the line of scrimmage, or maybe just at it, by Johnny Bright of the Edmonton Eskimos. There is no appreciable gain on the play. Call it 2nd down and 10. The recovery by Jimmy Miller, with Ted Ellsby falling right smack on top of his teammate just to make sure, gave Montreal the ball on the Edmonton 41-yard line. Pal is flanked way out on these sidelines. Sam looks, throws down the middle, complete to O'Quinn. He's down, but not before he picks up a first down on the 21-yard line. Oscar Kruger, defensive back, number 96, makes the tackle. Kruger shook himself up just a little bit on that play. We'll try and get a shot of this for you later. The CRU Secretary, Harry McBrien, has taken the Grey Cup to the scorer's table on the near sideline. This is Hunsinger with the ball. Calder leads the blocking. Hunsinger still going down to about the 14. Mendrick stops him there. Chuck tried to get some more yardage. We'll see what the officials say about it. They are going to allow it, I believe, to the 10-yard line. The ball is not quite to the 10-yard line, so a first down will leave it short of the goal line by about maybe 1 foot. Time remaining unofficially 3.5 minutes. Montreal 25, Edmonton 20. Hunsinger nailed behind the line of scrimmage. Tries a lateral. The ball is loose. Johnny Bright has got it for Edmonton. Jackie Parker, not Johnny Bright. Jackie Parker in this stadium is going crazy. About 95 yards. This is an absolute madhouse. His father and brother are undoubtedly the happiest people in the entire stadium right now. They came up from down below the border, and it was Jackie Parker who picked up that loose ball that Chuck Hunsinger threw away on a wild lateral. Touchdown for Edmonton. There is Parker on your screen. I'll tell you, he's happy, but man, is he ever tired. Tie ball game. How do you like that? 3 minutes according to the clock, but not given officially from the field. And Dean has his big chance right now. Edmonton leads the Grey Cup 26-25.
There's Jackie Parker on the screen, Steve. And man, this is no place for weak hearts, I don't think. That's the Western gang here is certainly getting the kicks right now. Well, how long it'll last is hard to say. Eskimos take the lead 26-25. And I think it's just about 3 minutes remaining in this fourth and final quarter.
Recovery is also hurt.
Steve, I don't know if you live to be 100 and continue to TV football or broadcast football games, I don't think you'll ever see one that has had so much tenseness and excitement as this particular ball game here today. A lot of breaks both ways. I don't know, we haven't tabulated them up here, but this, as you say, could be the big break, and both clubs have had a lot of breaks, but this one could be the big one.
You're so very right, Jack. There are 2 minutes left to go. Eskimos possession first and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Nomi Kwong carried. Hits into the center of the line. The Eskimos may be just trying to eat up yardage and time combined. About 1 minute and 45 seconds remaining. And, of course, they want to retain possession of the ball, move it along the ground, and keep the clock running. Second down and 8 yards to go. Polonius still got that football. Running wide. Hits to the sidelines. Ridden out of bounds at midfield. Hunsinger, the man who knocked him out. He is short of a first down by maybe 2 yards. The clock shows about 1 minute and 10 seconds to go. The man with the flag, Argonauts Ted Punchard, is at the sidelines. So is timer Joe Wright. The flag, however, is not up as yet. The Alouettes are sending out their punt receivers, Bill Bewley and Joey Pal, figuring, I presume quite naturally, that the Eskimos in possession of a 2-1-point lead. The flag is up. Right at midfield, the flag is up. There you see it. Maloney will kick from his 45. Beautiful high spiral. To Bewley at the 7-yard line. Nailed on the 13. Briggs hit him first. Well, I promise you one thing. If this score stands as it is right now, you had better batten down the hatches in the immediate vicinity of this city of Toronto.
I don't know why you should say that, Steve. There's hardly any Westerners out here.
Well, all the Easterners in Varsity Stadium today, 6,000 from Montreal excepted, must, Jack, be pulling for Edmonton. Underdogs by 4 or 5 to 1, they have played a miraculous football game.
Steve, I wonder how all those people laying 5 to 1 on the Alouettes are feeling about now.
How about that big point spread they're offering, Dave?
Well, how about it? How about the whole thing?
I just feel sorry
Simply
for
wonderful.
Quinn, you know, he's been the hero and the goat of the same ball game.
That is true, Mo, so true. Sam will throw. He's back to his 5-yard. He's going to run it at the 20. 25, still going at the 30. Spilled out of bounds. Bob Hayton, number 94, knocked him out. The officials say the 33-yard line, Alouettes first down. Less than 1 minute to go. 26-25, Edmonton. Bernie Filoni has gone in for Edmonton to play a defensive position for the first time today. Sam will throw it. Intercepted. No, he dropped the ball. King had his hands on it, intended for Joey Powell. King seemed to regain possession of it, then finally dropped it, and the 1-minute flag is still up on the sidelines. Can't be more than about 20 or 30 at the most seconds left to go. Ground camera shot showed it to you there. Hodgson has come in, replacing Bob Dean for Edmonton in the line. Echeverry will throw. He does. Deep. It's intended for Moran. Over his head. Intercepted. But there's a marker on the field, and there may be a little bit of a scramble as well. This play is going to have to be carried out in spite of the fact the gun sounded to officially end the game. Interference is being called. Interference was called against Mike King. So the Alouettes have one more fading chance. Oh, this is a real humdinger. You won't see a blade of grass after this play because the crowd will be on that field. Etcher's throwing very long, intended for Webster. The ball goes loose. There's the gun. The game is over. Final score of this Grey Cup game from Varsity Stadium, Toronto, is the Edmonton Eskimos 26, Montreal Alouettes 25, and in just a moment, a summary of the game.
Years before National Carbon was in the antifreeze and dry battery business, all of its products were made of carbon. Today, National Carbon produces a host of carbon products, all vital to everyday living. As carbon conducts electricity with ease and resists the highest of temperatures, it's universally used to produce the electric arc. This intense, pure light is essential to theaters. The scorching heat invaluable to steel-making furnaces. Carbon in this form is used to carry electricity out of generators into motors used in common household appliances and in modern diesel-electric locomotives. Impervious carbon in various forms is indispensable to the chemical industry. No other material is so resistant to acids and alkalis. Carbon will continue to expand its important contributions to our daily lives as more and more industries turn to this versatile material to solve their everyday production problems.
Well, you saw it. I don't know whether you still believe it or not. It's pretty hard to believe up here. Such a garrison finish. The final score, 26-25, as you know. The people down there, you can see all those Edmonton players getting mobbed. Pop Ivy, the coach, trying to help them through. That's Pop with the Stetson on and the light coat. There goes Frankie Morris, a former Torontonian, carrying the Grey Cup. You see him going off with it. A fantastic, wonderful football game here at Varsity Stadium this afternoon. In that last quarter, fine pass by Filoni, a great run by Parker, took the ball to the 14, and then Lippman broke through and went for a touchdown. Dean converted, and It was the Alouettes 24, the Eskimos 20. Hunsinger was caught from behind the line. He threw the ball away. I don't think he tried to lateral it because there was nobody there to throw it to. But he just let that ball go. Jackie Parker picked it up on the Eskimo 17-yard line and went all the way for the touchdown. Dean converted, and the Esks were in front, and they stayed in front. It was a pretty wonderful football game here this afternoon, and one that will have the fans talking not only in Toronto and Varsity Stadium, but all across the network in Canada, and certainly all across the network in the United States, because it was seen perhaps by more people than any, well, we know it was seen by more people than any Grey Cup final, any Canadian football game has ever been seen by. It was a tremendous game, and believe me, they saw it all. Who are you going to pick for the Stars? I don't know. You got to go along with Lindley for the Eskimos, who played a terrific game. But let's get Steve and Jack in here. We'll try and highlight some of this for you and find out just who they pick as the outstanding players. I'm afraid, Jack, that I guess there is a GOAT in this game. It has to be Chuck Hunsinger, who has played a tremendous game of ball for the Alouettes all year.
Well, you know, you have to feel sorry for a fellow like O'Quinn, too, Dave. Here was a boy that played, I think, the greatest game of pass receiving end I've ever seen this afternoon here. You may recall that he had that one pass with Edmonton driving, or with Montreal driving. He was hit and fumbled, and that gave the ball back to the Edmonton Eskimos when they needed it more than any other time in their football history.
You're set, you're safe, you're sure with Redstone brand. You're set, you're safe, you're sure with Redstone and be free. Be set, be safe, be sure that your car will never freeze. When winter comes along, you can be carefree with this song. You bet you're set, you're safe, you're sure with Redstone and be free. P-R-E-S-T-O-N-E, Redstone. Redstone and be free.
National Carbon Company and Northern Electric Company Limited have been proud to bring to television viewers from coast to coast, for the first time in the history of Canadian television, this 1954 Grey Cup Final. Produced for National Carbon Company and Northern Electric by the CBC, and brought to you over CBUT through the cooperation of NBC and KOMO-TV, Seattle.
Where does the drama of the Grey Cup begin? To some, the opening scene is set in the midsummer training camps, where the coaches try to assess the future recently signed rookies and the veteran who claims he still has one good year left. To those who stay at home, the drama begins with the champions' departure from Malton Airport, for these are members of the Hamilton Tiger Cats. Traditionally, Toronto has been the home of the Grey Cup game. The University of Toronto won the first Grey Cup back in 1909, and since then, Varsity Stadium has been the site of most of the trophy contests. But in 1958, the game will be held in Vancouver as the final fling in British Columbia's centennial year celebration. This has been a year in which the diversity of BC has been saluted. Diversity as seen in the Pacific fishing fleet, framed under Vancouver's Lionsgate Bridge, the heavy-laden fruit trees of the Okanagan, or in vivid contrast, the high-topped timber operations of the Pacific slopes. Not so familiar perhaps, but increasingly important are the rugged ranchlands with their hardy, pioneering cowboys. From Manitoba come the challenging Winnipeg Blue Bombers. The psychological contest has already begun with Hamilton coach Jim Trimble's confident remarks. Winnipeg's Bud Grant is more cautious in his campaign, and one of the 1957 Grey Cup heroes, Kenny Plain, stops to acknowledge Western greetings. All the while, the fans who have helped to transform the Grey Cup competition from a game to a festival are arriving by train to be greeted by the lilting music of the pipes. And Vancouver is ready too. The Firefighters Union has resurrected an ancient water carrier for use, and the siren is still found to be in good shape. By the Thursday before the game, all is in readiness for the friendly invasion of supporters from east and west. Shop windows change overnight. Everybody becomes a football expert and takes sides. The street hawkers stock their stands with souvenir pennants, ribboned rosettes of team colors, and Grey Cups of all sizes blossom forth. By Friday night, the fever is reaching its zenith. The streets are thronged with revelers, and the hotel lobbies echo with cheers and song. Saturday morning brings the mammoth Grey Cup parade, and leading the way is Century Sam, the symbol of BC's centennial year. Vancouverites and visitors alike have been lining the parade route for hours, and by the time the BC Lions mascot, 12-year-old Mary Stewart, comes cartwheeling along, there's not a spare inch of space available. There's glamour and music aplenty for the crowds, and there are impressive floats from all across the land. Nestled inside the mammoth Grey Cup is the largest football ever built in Canada. Premier Bennett sits by as Lieutenant Governor Ross takes the salute. The Pacific Great Eastern Railway, now the third largest system in Canada, enters a float telling of its part in helping to open up the province. Sharon Lowe, Miss Edmonton Eskimo. The Stampede city of Calgary, the city that single-handedly provided the Grey Cup weekend with splash and verve, sends along their football queen, Marie Degree, and a large contingent of horses and riders. It was back in '48 that the Calgarians ushered in the modern Grey Cup Festival, and 10 years later, they're still at it. Patricia Ann Rapita, Miss Winnipeg Blue Bomber. Miss BC Lions, Sharon Durham. Toronto's float features their future City Hall. The Prince George float, the largest and longest of them all, tells of spruce trees and hydroelectric power, and presents one of the 3 original canoes of the Simon Fraser Brigade that made the trip down the Fraser to Vancouver, to say nothing of a bevy of decidedly modern can-can girls. The wheatlands of Saskatchewan, with their Miss Grey Cup representative, Jane Wentz. There's football satellites from outer space, and from the depths of Lake Okanagan, there's the famous Ogopogo. Jackie Parker, Canada's outstanding football player in 1958. Landmarks of Montreal, Mount Royal, and Les Alouettes. There's a hearty hometown cheer for the Lions of British Columbia. And a potential halfback makes a fumble recovery. Sylvia Prue representing Ottawa in the Miss Grey Cup contest. The Oski Wawa man himself, Vince Wirth, the nation's best-known cheerleader and the embodiment of Hamilton's Tiger Cat spirit. Mind you, not all the spectators are Hamilton fans. An island unto themselves are the sporting fans of Victoria, with teacups at the ready, heading for today's test match on the Empire Stadium pitch. Finally, Miss Grey Cup herself, from Montreal, 17-year-old Joan Van Boven, a dark-haired Alouette beauty who will reign over the weekend celebration. Speaking of rain, which is never done in Vancouver, brings to mind the famous tarpaulin. For the past week, it has protected the immaculate turf of Empire Stadium. And it's not until it is rolled up that a few showers begin. At the moment, the temperature is a pleasant 48 degrees. And as the grass soaks up the moisture like a sponge, the field is pronounced to be in good shape for the game. Some 35,000 fans are expected to watch today's contest in the stadium, while another 4 to 5 million will see it on TV or listen to radio accounts. It's a return engagement for Vancouver, who hosted the game in 1955, and a return engagement, too, for the 1957 finalists, challengers from the West, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, and the champion Hamilton Tiger Cats from the East. The Big Four winners have been established as slight favorites to retain the cup. Under head coach Jim Trimble, the Ticats won 10, lost 3, and tied once during their regular schedule. They sat back and rested while Ottawa defeated Montreal in a sudden death playoff, and then in 2 decisive games, they controlled the ball easily to run up a total count of 54 points to 14 over the Rough Riders. They have depth, aggressiveness, and deception in such players as punter Cam Fraser, quarterback Bernie Filoni, and fullbacks Jerry McDougall and Don Southern. The line with men like John Barrow and Angela Muska is heavy but fast, and they have fine specialists like co-captain Steve Onischuk. In the more rugged WIFU campaign, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, coached by Bud Grant, won 13, lost only 3, and then waited while Edmonton downed Saskatchewan in the semifinals. The 3-game final between the Bombers and Eskimos had everything: snow and more snow. 2 games split by identical scores of 30-7, and then a Winnipeg victory 23-7 sent them to Vancouver. In 1957, they were hobbled with injuries, but in 58, the medical report reads all healthy, including halfback and top kicker Charlie Shepard and rookie Jim Van Pelt. Van Pelt has had a Cinderella year with Winnipeg. A rookie from the University of Michigan, he got into the lineup when Kenny Plain was injured, and he's been there ever since. Plain, now on the Bomber half line, provides Winnipeg with an added pass threat. Game time approaches. Referee Harry Bowden indicates the kicking and receiving teams to Buddy Tinsley and Herb Gray of Winnipeg, Bernie Filoni and Steve Onischuk of Hamilton. The official kickoff has Calgary's Don Lutzy, voted the country's outstanding lineman, holding the ball for Jackie Parker. And now to the game and Steve Douglas.
Okay, Doug Maxwell, the opening kickoff by Winnipeg co-captain Jim Van Pelt. Howell and Macon are deep men for Hamilton. Howell has it from the 13-yard line, and he's piled up, hit hard by Tony Kerr of Winnipeg at the 28, 1st and 10 for the Hamilton Ticats. Quarterback Bernie Filoni calling the plays for Hamilton. He goes to the air on the very first one in the ball game. It's too long for Ron Howell to handle. Nick Miller and Norm Rawhouse covered for Winnipeg. Another pass attempt coming up by Bernie Filoni, shooting for Jerry McDougall on the sidelines over his head. Gordy Rowland defends for the Blue Bombers. Cam Fraser, a short wobbler, coming down, bouncing around center field. And Ron Latourelle draws the Hamilton tacklers in too close. The Ticats are called for no yards. But there's another marker on the play as well. Winnipeg penalized for illegal interference on Hunter Cam Fraser beyond the line of scrimmage. So Hamilton retains possession, 1st and 10 of the Ticats 31. Filoni looking, can't find a receiver, and he starts to run with the ball. Heads down the sideline. Cease Luning makes the tackle. Filoni, as good a runner as he is a passer, has 9.5 yards to his credit. 2nd down, inches to go. Quarterback Filoni keeps the ball. He's got a 1st down. The ball is on the Hamilton 41-yard line. Jerry McDougall cracks right up the center. Winnipeg veteran co-captain Buddy Tinsley holds him to 6 yards.
Maloney's pitch-out goes to number 70, Don Southern, newcomer from Ohio State, hero of the 1957 Rose Bowl. He got good yardage, and Kenny Plain finally put him down. On second down at the Winnipeg 48-yard line, Bernie Filoni pulls back the pass. Down the center, he finds Paul Decker. Keith Pierce makes the tackle, but the gain is good for yards. Ball on the Winnipeg 36, the Sun playing peekaboo behind the clouds. Filoni hits McDougall. He heads for the sideline. He is bounced out of bounds on the 9-yard line, and Gordy Rowland of Winnipeg is called for illegal interference, but Hamilton declines the penalty. Filoni moving to the right. The short basketball lateral to McDougall. He heads for pay dirt. Hamilton has a touchdown, moving 82 yards in 11 plays for the opening score. Credit Bernie Filoni and Jerry McDougall for that one. Steve Onischuk, Hamilton's co-captain, convert specialist, makes the point at the touchdown good. Hamilton has scored within 5 minutes of the opening kickoff. Southern boots it short for the Ticats. Barone receives. Hamilton is called for roughing, so the Blue Bombers take possession. 1st and 10 at Hamilton's 54-yard line. Filoni passed the first time Hamilton had the ball. Let's see what Jim Van Pelt will do. He's going to the air, too. But what a difference. Intercepted by Eddie Macon, but there's a marker flying through the air, and Macon is flying down the sidelines. He goes out of bounds on the 23-yard line. The Ticats are called for illegal pass interference. Winnipeg has it 1st and 10 at the Hamilton 50. Nice faking by the quarterback. Lewis, the ball carrier, and Harry Lampman makes the tackle. 3 plays later, it's Winnipeg's ball on the Hamilton 35-yard line. There's a fumble in the backfield, the scramble, the ball is still loose. Ralph Goldson up and away with it. And he coasts the final distance for the second Ticat touchdown of the afternoon.
Steve, this is turning out something like last year's game where Hamilton counted 2 quick touchdowns in the first quarter. Remember Bibble's bobble and his touchline trip?
I certainly do, Doug. I'll bet Winnipeg coach Bud Grant remembers it, too. Onischuk for the convert. It's good. Just over 8 minutes left in the first quarter. Southern kicks off. Lewis from the 18 gets back 10. And finally 13 yards before Pete Newman jolts him to a standstill. 1st and 10 for the Bombers. Pay dirt 79 yards away. Lewis carries. Good cutback, and he makes 8.5 yards. Saminsky and Macon combine to stop him. After Shepard adds 4 more for 1st and 10 at the Winnipeg 44, here's Kenny Plain with the ball, and Pete Newman holds him to a yard gain. Tony Casillo of Hamilton injured on the play. That will be a tough blow to the Ticats. Casillo is a big key man in their defense. Van Pelt back to pass. He's nailed by Lampman, but Hamilton is called for offside. It'll stay 2nd down. The ball now at Winnipeg's 50-yard line. Leo Lewis once again starts out, cuts back. He gets 6 yards and a 1st down. The ball carrier is Charlie Shepard right up the middle. 5-yard gain before Saminsky piles it up. Kenny Plain has it. The rush is on, but he gets it off to Charlie Shepard. He's on the move deep in Hamilton territory. Macon, Campbell, and Golston triple team him, and the Winnipeg gain is worth 16 yards. Blue Bombers from their own 31, now at Hamilton's 31. Shepard carries again. Up the middle he goes, his 3rd carry in a row. He picks up 11 yards. Now picture yourself on the Winnipeg bench. Here's the play developing. The handoff is to Lewis. He shoots back to quarterback, Van Pelt. He gets past 1 man at the sideline. Touchdown for the Blue Bombers. A 79-yard drive in just 9 plays. Featuring Charlie Shepard, Leo Lewis, and Jimmy Van Pelt. Van Pelt's convert attempt is successful. Hamilton's lead is sliced in half. Here's the kickoff by Van Pelt. It's short to Ronnie Howell.
who takes it on the bounce, gets back 5, 10, 13 yards before Ernie Pitts stops him, and the Ticats start from their own 34-yard line. Quarterback Filoni is back. He shoots it down the sideline, intended for Tommy Grant. Knocked down by Pierce. Second down, 10 to go. Filoni tries the air again. Successful to Paul Decker, who makes a good grab for the first down. Pierce once again, the number 1 Western defender. First down on Hamilton Ticats' 49-yard line. Filoni back. No receivers open. So he starts to move, heading this way. He is finally bumped into touch by Verone and Miller after picking up 12 yards. An exchange of kicks follows, neither team able to mount any offensive. The first quarter is over with Hamilton holding a converted touchdown margin over Winnipeg. Ball in the Winnipeg 37. Here's the action in slow motion as Don Southern tries his luck around left end. But watch Gordy Rowland come driving in and bring him down for a 5-yard loss. Plays like that make you appreciate the worth of a great Canadian defensive star like Rowland, voted the outstanding Canadian player in the WIFU. Second down and 15. Filoni keeps. Heads for the far sidelines, and a crisp block by Billy Graham springs him loose for extra yardage. The play is worth 9 yards. Third down and 6 to go. Southern tries a field goal from the 41-yard line. It is short and taken by Gordy Rowland, who is out to the 20. And the 25 before Lampman, Grant, and Graham combine for the tackle. First and 10, Winnipeg at the Bomber 25. Van Pelt juggles the ball momentarily, recovers, passes toward the sidelines. Gilliam, the receiver, on his chuck, knocks him out of bounds on the 36-yard line. Winnipeg first down. Charlie Shepard picks his way through the left side and gets 11 yards before Ralph Golston, a tremendous defensive performer for Hamilton, makes the tackle. Ball carrier is John Verone up the middle. Barrow and Underwood combine to stop him after he picks up 3 yards. Hamilton offside has given Winnipeg the ball at center field. Lewis on the move for 6 yards with Harry Lampman making the stop. Van Pelt trying the air again, and a great catch by Ernie Pitts. The Winnipeg end moves the play to Hamilton's 37-yard line. Winnipeg started from their own 25. Fine football so far. The bootleg option, the fake by the quarterback, hides the ball on his hip and starts to run. Jimmy Van Pelt in action. It's past the first man, but Decker and Macon double-team him and bring him down. It is third down, 2.5 yards to go. Winnipeg is going to go for it. The pass is down the middle. Gilliam all alone. Grabs it. Winnipeg has a first down at the Hamilton 16-yard line. Van Pelt back to pass. He's trapped. Amazingly, he gets the ball away into the end zone, and Ralph Golston's last-second back down saves the day for Hamilton. Second and 10, still on the 16. Van Pelt rolling out to his left, looking for receiver. Shoots down the middle. Pass intended for Gilliam is no good. Third down, still 10 yards to go. Van Pelt attempting the field goal. It's good, says referee Harry Bowden. Van Pelt has scored all 10 points.
The individual Grey Cup scoring record, Steve, belongs to Jackie Parker. 19 points set in the 56 final against Montreal.
Hamilton ball on the Ticat 35. McDougall carries. Tinsley makes the stop after a 2-yard gain. Filoni shooting on the far sidelines, intended for Billy Graham. Filoni is 4 for 8 so far today. Fraser kicking. Laterell receives it, and Bevan and Grant put him down at the 40-yard line. Van Pelt hits Leo Lewis, who is on the move. Goes down at the midfield stripe, held there by Campbell and Golston. Casillo has returned to action now in the Hamilton secondary. Screen pass to Kenny Plain.
He gets by two Ticats with a great burst of speed, and Steve Onischuk comes cross-field down lane after he picked up 29 yards. Winnipeg deep in Hamilton territory again, and the crowd hasn't stopped yelling for a single moment. Shepard carries. Scott makes the tackle. Second down, 5 to go. There's the bootleg again. This time it's a pass intended for Ernie Pitts. He juggles the ball. He's hit by Eddie Macon almost immediately. Third down, still 5. Van Pelt tries another field goal. He hit 8 for 18 in the regular season. That's his second one today. Winnipeg back in the ballgame now, trailing by a single point. Hamilton fails to gain on the next series of downs. Fraser kicks to Lateral at the Winnipeg 23. Leo Lewis carries there, knifes up the middle. Goes to make the tackle, and there are 2 markers down on the field. Winnipeg called for offensive holding. Hamilton charged with rough play. Umpire Taylor Patterson calls Golston for slugging, and he is out of the game. That could hurt the Hamilton defensive alignment, for Ralph is one of the top pass defenders in football. Penalty yardage didn't help the Bombers too much. They were forced to kick Ticats from their own 16-yard line. Maloney can't find a receiver. Dodges around in the backfield, and finally is tackled for a 3-yard loss by Winnipeg's great lineman, Herb Gray. Coach Trimble talks to Captain Steve Onischuk. Time running out in the first half. Maloney back to shoot, a long one. Intended for Ronnie Howe. Miller and Rawhouse have it covered. Third down, Hamilton, 13 to go on the 13-yard line. Are you superstitious? Norm Rawhouse, first through the right side of the Hamilton line. He recovers in the end zone. Normie Rawhouse, Winnipeg Rookie of the Year in '56, playing his 3rd year with the Bombers, puts his club in the lead with a dramatic and sensational last-minute touchdown. Van Pelt's convert is good. The half ends. Winnipeg goes into the lead for the first time in the game, 20-14.
Well, Steve, that final play of the first half will no doubt change the tenor of both coaches' halftime oratory, to say nothing of the stretch comments of the fans. But for the next few minutes, let's relax from football and enjoy the splash and splendor of the halftime pageantry. Here's the championship Bellingham High School Band, supported by the Vancouver Band's majorettes and cheerleaders. A series of tableaus honoring the various regions of Canada is climaxed by a salute to the BC timber industry. Now it's the turn of the BC Lions cheerleaders as they trot out a snappy routine featuring mascot Mary Stewart. The band under the direction of Dal Richards and their high-kicking chorus line. The excited crowd indicates its appreciation of the spectacular as they settle back in anticipation of the second half. See, that was a tremendous first half of football. I think we'll remember it for a long time. Golston's fumble recovery and touchdown, play of Jimmy Van Pelt at quarterback for Winnipeg, and finally that blocked kick by Normie Rawhouse. What's your reaction?
Well, Doug, so far I'd say it's the best Grey Cup battle I've ever seen. Rock'em, sock'em type of football at its very best. Everybody here wonders if the boys can keep it up in the second half, and we'll soon see. Van Pelt kicks off for Winnipeg. Tommy Grant, the Big Four Rookie of the Year in 1956, has it. And he's back almost to the 35-yard line before Walt Fillicky brings him down. 1st and 10 for the Ticats. They trail by 6 points in this ball game. Jerry McDougall gets the call from Filoni, and he carries for 5 yards. Gordy Rowland and Dave Bertholder combine to stop the play. 2nd and 5. Filoni back to pass. Can't find a receiver, starts to run, throws a basketball-type pass to McDougall that is incomplete. Filoni is now kicking for the Ticats in place of Cam Fraser. And Ralph Toohey bounces Lateral down on the Winnipeg 36-yard line. Ball carrier is Leo Lewis. He gets 4 yards before Scott and Szymanski combine on him. Jim Trimble is the worrier. In slow motion, a good chance to watch the line play as John Barone, rookie from the University of Miami, picks his way through. A 10-yard gain and a first down at the Winnipeg 50. Barone, the halfback, who replaced the injured Jerry James midway through the season. Lewis once again for the Blue Bombers. There's a loose ball. Recovered by Don Southern of the Ticats. A break for Hamilton, 1st and 10 on the Ticat 50-yard line. $60 yards to go for a major. Filoni on the run. He gets 5 yards before Barone pumps him down. McDougall carries for the Ticats. Rowland upends him. 1 yard is the gain. Trimble keeps Filoni in to do the kicking. But Filoni gambles and pitches wide to Milt Campbell. The 56th World Decathlon champion turns on the speed, reverses the field, outlegs a couple of defenders, and is finally down by Gordy Rowland at the Bomber 28. And Campbell takes exception to the Winnipeg player's actions. Ball carrier is Jerry McDougall. He's hit hard by Dave Burkholder. And Winnipeg is penalized for rough play, and the Ticats are knocking on the door again. Filoni fakes the handoff. Dropping back in the pocket to pass, he spots Ronnie Howell deep in the end zone, throws for him. Howell has it for a touchdown, and the score is tied. Honestchuk kicks the convert, and the Ticats are ahead by a single point. Here's the kickoff by Don Southern. Kenny Plain on the receiving end gets back to the 35-yard line before DeNoble grounds him. For the Blue Bombers, it's Charlie Shepard on the move. Szymanski makes the tackle. Coach and quarterback confer in front of the Ticat bench. 2nd down and 6. The handoff is to Lewis. But the Blue Bombers are being called for illegal interference over the 3rd stripe, and the penalty puts them back to their own 29-yard line. Barone is the ball carrier. Decker and Macon on the tackle. Charlie Shepard set to kick. Punt is taken by Eddie Macon. There's a fumble, and the loose ball is recovered for Hamilton by Bobby Dawson. 1st and 10 for the Ticats on their 33. Pitch out is fumbled by Jerry McDougall. The ball recovered by Winnipeg's Gordy Rowland, a Montreal native who's playing his 5th year with the Bombers. Winnipeg has another scoring opportunity. From the Hamilton 23, Kenny Plain takes the handoff from the quarterback, and just before he's hit, he shoots for Charlie Shepard near the sideline. It is completed. Dawson makes the tackle for the Ticats. The play covers 17.5 yards. First down and goal to go for Winnipeg, trailing by a single point. 5 minutes left, and Lewis is swarmed under. The defensive charge led by John Barrow. A gain good for 1 yard. Shepard is the ball carrier, but the Ticats are offside, and that moves the ball half the distance to the goal line. 2nd down over again at the 2.5-yard mark. year with 76 points, counts his first touchdown in this year's Grey Cup game. Van Pelt's conversion is good, and Winnipeg is back into a 6-point lead. The Bombers' kickoff is taken by Eddie Macon on the 21-yard line. He's brought down by Ernie Pitts at the Hamilton 37. McDougall straight up the middle, and he bowls his way for 7 yards before Keith Pierce makes the stop. McDougall carries again, the same play. This time, Warren brings him to earth. Milt Campbell over left tackle. Hamilton ball on the Winnipeg 49-yard line. First down for the Ticats. Maloney back. He hits Paul Decker down the middle. And Normie Rawhouse makes the stop. Maloney fakes the handoff beautifully. He's looking deep and aiming for Ronnie Howell once again, close to the goal line. Howell is behind the last Winnipeg defender. Touchdown, Hamilton. 6 plays and 72 yards, the vital statistics on that scoring drive. Honest-Chuck's conversion point gives Hamilton a 1-point margin. Touchdown number 2 for Ronnie Howell, voted the outstanding Canadian in 1958. The kickoff by Mixer, taken by Kenny Plain. Tony Casillo makes the tackle for Hamilton at the 42-yard line. This type of play produced a touchdown for Winnipeg early in the ball game, but this time the pass by Lewis is too far for Ernie Pitts. The game is now into the final minute of the third quarter. Jimmy Van Pelt, no receivers open. He decides to run with it. Driven into touch at the Hamilton 52. First down, Winnipeg. Handoff is to Leo Lewis, starts outside, cuts back, makes 6 yards before Angelo Mosca makes the tackle as the third quarter ends. Winnipeg ball on Hamilton's 46, 2nd and 4. John Barone flashes up the middle for 8.5 yards. Harry Lampman grabs him at the 37. Van Pelt passing to Lewis. He is hit almost immediately by Eddie Macon. A Hamilton penalty moves the ball to the 25-yard line. 1st and 10, Winnipeg. Hamilton putting the big rush on Van Pelt. He passes. Honest-Chuck tries to knock it down, but Plain gets it and is finally dragged down on the 1-yard line. The crowd is going crazy. Quarterback Van Pelt asks for quiet. A scarce commodity right now. On the quarterback sneak, Van Pelt into the end zone. Winnipeg touchdown. Convert is good. Winnipeg leads again.
Steve, that means that Jim Van Pelt has surpassed Jackie Parker and has a new Grey Cup scoring record in his pocket, 22 points.
On the kickoff, Tommy Grant is the Hamilton receiver. He gets back to the 25-yard line where Pitt stops the action. Milt Campbell into the left side of the Winnipeg line, but the line stiffens. He is held to no gain. Maloney going back to pass, trips. Patrick and Luning make sure. Hamilton with a 5-yard loss must kick. Fraser into boot again. Rowland to receive, a 44-yard kick, and Rowland comes back 6 yards. Blue Bombers ball, Van Pelt back to pass. Throws to Ernie Pitts, and the Bomber end high steps it down the sidelines, past a number of Hamilton defenders, and goes down for an apparent touchdown. But the officials are calling him out on the 31. Did he go out? Let's make sure. Here it is in slow motion. Van Pelt with the ball. There's the pass. Pitt has it. Sidesteps the first would-be tackler. And the second. And he gets by the third Hamilton man. But he steps on the sideline before he evades the fourth and fifth would-be tacklers and goes into the end zone. And the officials, who do a fine job in this great football game, have the exact spot pinpointed. 1st and 10, Winnipeg on Hamilton's 31. Charlie Shepard up the center for 4 yards. There's the bootleg in the other direction. The pass intended for Gilliam is no good at the 5-yard line. That makes it 3rd down and 7 to go. And Winnipeg will go for the single. Charlie Shepard back. He holds the Western record for the longest punt, 92 yards. He gets a good one away deep into the end zone. And the Bombers are ahead by 7 points, meaning it will take something more than a converted touchdown to beat them now. Another exchange of kicks, and there's only about 3 minutes left. Ticats possession, 1st and 10 on the Hamilton 26. Maloney racing the clock, picks out Ronnie Howell. He's almost at the sidelines. He makes the catch, stumbles, and Rawhouse comes in to make the tackle for Winnipeg. 1st down, Ticats at Hamilton's 45-yard line. This time the intended receiver is Eddie Macon. A great catch. He appears to be trapped, but shakes himself free and adds 7 more yards before Rowland gets him at Winnipeg's 42. Maloney back to throw again. He looks for Paul Decker and completes it on a leaping grab. 3 Blue Bombers converge to make the stop. The play is deep in Winnipeg territory at the Bomber 24-yard line. Here's another pass attempt by Filoni, but the big rush is on by Buddy Tinsley, and the pass is off the mark, intercepted by Norm Rawhouse, who's been a tower of strength defensively for Winnipeg. Appearance of the Grey Cup Hooch. Winnipeg ball, the Blue Bombers' 23-yard line. Charlie Shepard up the middle, burst into the clear, and only the decathlon champion, Milt Campbell, has the speed to gain on him. There's Campbell's dive and the tackle. Winnipeg is out to the Hamilton 40-yard line. And a look at the rival benches presents quite a study in coaching concentration. Winnipeg ball carrier is John Verone. Honestchuk dives in for the tackle. The ball squirts loose. Hamilton players dive for it. Vince Scott makes the recovery. Fans in the stands are just as keyed up as the players as we're into the final minute of play in this ball game. Maloney back to pass again. Couldn't find a receiver. There's big Buddy Tinsley, the great Winnipeg line star, following the play up and helping out on the tackle. On the Winnipeg 46-yard line, Filoni back to throw again. Tinsley and Gray have got the big rush going. But they bump into each other, and Filoni gets free. He shoots long down the sideline. Tipped by one defender, into another's arms, and finally latched onto by Kenny Klein. About to be tackled, a lateral to Normie Rawhouse, and here he comes. He's down on the 18-yard line, and two markers plus a football protest that Hamilton's piling on. There's time for just one more play. Jimmy Van Pelt falls on the ball. There's the gun. The game is over. And that shot was the signal for Western fans to really whoop it up. Winnipeg has won the Grey Cup. The Bombers 35, Hamilton 28.
Steve, I'm sure it'll go down as one of the all-time thrillers in Grey Cup history, and a game that players and fans alike will remember for many, many years. Co-captain Buddy Tinsley receives the Grey Cup from Commissioner Sidney Halter. This is the fourth Grey Cup game for Tinsley, but it's the first time he's had his hands on that trophy in the 9 years he's been with Winnipeg. Coach Bud Grant has good reason to be happy today. 2 Grey Cup appearances in his first 2 years as Winnipeg coach, and this year, a national title. The game had many stars. 2 great quarterbacks, Jim Van Pelt and Bernie Filoni, Norm Rawhouse, a fine Canadian defensive ace, and Ron Howell, Hamilton's outstanding halfback. Herb Gray, Charlie Shepard, Leo Lewis, Jerry McDougall, Milt Campbell, Steve Onischuk, and a host of others. And with the game over, Hamilton coach Jim Trimble takes that traditional lonely walk to the Winnipeg dressing room to congratulate his opponent. It was a sensational game, a game of excitement, daring, and scoring thrills right to the last minute of play. And inside the Winnipeg dressing room, the cup is passed around among the new owners as final proof that the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are champions of Canada for the next year. And in years to come, from coast to coast, Canadians will remember this game as the thrilling climax of 1958's Grey Cup Festival.